Greetings and welcome to this old grognard. Mothership, a science fiction horror game that's light on the rules, but heavy on the roleplay opportunities. They have a core set that contains some of the items that we're going to look at today. But today, we're going to take a look at the Mothership Deluxe box set. I got this at my friendly local game store, which for me is Geeky Teas in Burbank, California. Support your friendly local game store. But as you can see, I haven't opened it yet. There's a little bit of rippage from having this come home in a backpack. I apologize also if there's a little bit of wobble at the table. Our studio is in the process of being upgraded. Thank you, and I appreciate your patience with that. So let's take a look. The artwork is really cool. It's in line with the flavor of the series. If you haven't seen it, it's basically think movies like Event Horizon or the Aliens franchise. It came with a little explainer on the back telling me that Mothership is the award-winning sci-fi horror role-playing game where you and your crew try to survive in the most inhospitable environment in the universe. Outer space, exclamation point. Explore unknown star systems, excavate derelict spacecraft, and examine alien life forms. Vaccines not included. As you can see, you're going to get quite a bit in here. We're going to open it up and take a look in a moment. Part of what I like about Mothership is that you're not like a science fiction themed superhero or medieval themed superhero like you are in a lot of modern role-playing games. Fight it out in the comments, please. But in this, you're basically just trying to survive. It tells you that you get the player survival guide. That's their player's handbook. The warden operation manual, which is the GM's guide. The shipbreaker's toolkit, which is a shipbuilding. Unconfirmed contact reports, which is their bestiary. And then you get 4. Wow, that's really cool. You get 4 different adventures: Dead Planet, A Pound of Flesh, Gradient Descent, and another bug hunt. There's a GM screen, a couple other things in here. So let's go ahead and crack it open. So you really don't need any of this. I mean, needs a funny word, right? So what do we get? Survive, solve, save. So yeah, it kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at here. The Mothership companion, because everything needs an app. That's okay. All right, here's your GM screen. So, all right, it's about the size of the modern 5e GM screens. Let's take a look. Oh, excuse me. Take a look here. Nice. Okay. Wound tables, medical treatment, different modifiers for things, price tiers for stuff. Okay, staves, combat ship combat procedure. A couple of random tables for locations and population sizes. All right, that's cool. So one of the things about Mothership is that outside of one very dramatic type of role, you are encouraged to roll all of your stuff in front of your players and give them a full account of what is about to happen to them, success and failure. So, oh, cool. All right. Well, you get a ship map, which is really neat. And on the other side, very nice. You get a ship combat rangefinder. Okay, very cool. So They do want you to go out and engage with other ships and vehicles. You do get some standees, again, some tokens. So I don't know where the bases are here. Hopefully they're in here somewhere. These are pretty cool. I mean, artwork-wise, you're looking at a really late 90s style. I would say 80s, 90s. Having been there, I think this is a lot more of a representation of what science fiction looked like back then, as opposed to like the neon pink stuff that you see from a lot of things. So you get a copy of the Mothership Survival Guide. Oh, neat. Okay, this is actually all right. So I have an older one, and this is a lot more blah, right? You know, it's a flow chart. If you didn't take physiology or, you know, I don't know, electronics, you might not get that. So this is laid out a lot better. Nice. Okay, same thing inside with the character sheet. It's a lot more accessible, I would say. All right. Same thing as before here, and an explanation of the game. And that's basically it for rules. I mean, this is an incredibly rules-like game. You're not supposed to roll anything unless it's like a life or death situation. It's assumed that a guy who's piloted a spaceship for the last 15 years can get from point A to point B. Once there's a hole in the ship and something's trying to eat his face, then you should probably roll. But otherwise, it's assumed that people are basically competent at what they do. It's about ordinary, competent people being put in extraordinary circumstances. And where I got that from was from here, the Mothership Warden's Operation Manual, which is the Game Master's Guide. I am going to do a separate piece on this. Look forward to that, please. Please like and subscribe for more hot man-on-mini action and game reviews. I've been playing role-playing games and painting miniatures since the Stranger what's that called? You know, don't listen to Unk. It's been a minute. Either way, this is probably hands down the best game master's guide for a new game master in this. It's called Wardens. Again, I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper, but it basically sets up game mastering as you hosting people at your house for dinner. And it's about hospitality and kindness, I believe is the way he put it, the author of the game, which is incredibly funny considering just the whole concept of this. It's really easy to make characters because you're probably going to need to make a couple. If you have players that are on board for this, if they want to play out a horror movie, or I would say this would be a great game for people that have never played role-playing games because there's no expectations. And you're encouraged to lay the story out in intervals of months. You know, the same person's not going to be encountering aliens every 2 weeks. 11 months, so you know, a year later in the story plot line. That's really great for an episodic game, where people don't have to invest too heavily in their characters. It's also great if you can only get your players together once in a very rare occasion, and one shots are just a better way to go. You're not going to spend a lot of time going over rules and looking through rule books, and you're not going to spend a lot of time rolling dice. Again, you only roll dice in this when it's considered a high stakes situation. So, Shipbreaker's Toolkit. That being said, this is the ship manual. I have not seen this one before. I don't know how much ship-to-ship combat I'm going to do, but I'm interested in looking through this and see. Like I said, what's really cool is you get ideas for ships and ship design. Again, laying out the universe a little better for you. It's a grounded science fiction universe. It looks like real technology akin to something that would be an advancement of what we have in the real world today. So this I'm interested in. So this is the bestiary. Oh, cool. All right. Gives you some quick horrors to put together. Throat leeches. Oh, isn't that pleasant? Yeah. So the Sea of Silence. Ooh, I wonder what that is. Either way, this is creatures for your players to most likely die horrible deaths from. Again, everything is done in this like 80s, 90s punk rock zine, which I really love. Because it's such a small format, everything has to be impactful and there isn't a lot of waste. And as somebody who has a job and friends and things to do, I appreciate that. And again, I'd more likely to flip through this knowing that I don't have to worry about learning a bunch of complex game mechanics. Again, making this a great game for people that are brand new to RPGs and also for people that might be a little tired of the grind and, you know, the crunch, as they say. So the captain ain't here, and the captain that's in this book ain't about crunch. He's probably an android, and you guys are expendable. Speaking of aliens, another bug hunt. Pretty self-explanatory, right? So one of the cool things about Mothership, again, is you can make it as fantastical or as grounded as you want. This isn't some kind of mystical horror from beyond the stars. It's just a creature that wants to eat people and you shoot it, as far as I know. Dead Planet, I don't know a lot about. A Pound of Flesh, again, I believe this one gives you kind of a sandbox setting, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me in the comments below. And Gradient Descent, the fourth book in here. I really don't know a lot about these, but considering that, like, this is a full adventure, right? This is The Haunting of Epsilon 14, which is this is the first game that I am going to run this week coming up. This tells me that I could get at least 4 or 5 sessions out of one of these. And I think that's pretty good for... Altogether, I paid like $103 because I paid the full retail. You can find it for less online. The core set is, I believe, $50 retail. They're all like $99.99 and $59.99, which are very 20th century pricings. But either way, it's out there. I mean, for the price of the retail of the Starfinder core, well, the player core, which is basically just a player's handbook, you're getting a full game system and 20, 30 nights of gaming if you stretch it out, and if your players survive and they want to play. So that's everything that comes in the box. The rest of the box itself, you have these cool, like, they have magnet clasps on them, little spots to put your counters in, containment A and containment B. Oh, and in containment B are your little standy bases. You don't have to worry about popping those back in, and your dice. And yeah, you basically use a D20 and you can get away with just this. But your players will probably want their own dice. It uses a percentile roll under system, and with advantage and disadvantage. If you don't know what that is, I love that. The 1 is an exclamation point, meaning and the 20 believe the 20 is like ultimate survival, because what happens in this is you build stress. You start with a stress level, and every time something bad really happens, like your friend dies or you see something horrific, you have to roll that d20, and you have a space to roll it in. And if you roll above your stress level, you have to roll under your stress level. I'm sorry. And the more stress you get, the harder and harder that gets to be. So, and the higher you go up. So if you start at 2 and you end up with 18 stress and you roll a 19 or a 20, you're in bad shape. So, again, not a forgiving game, but a game where you are not limited by what your character class is. You can do anything you want within the confines of the universe. You just have to roll the dice and take the chances, just like in life. All in all, I think this is, if you could start with a game system and you just wanted one thing and you were going to put it on your shelf and you wanted to be able to bust it out and to remember how to play it and to teach everyone how to play it in literally minutes and get people going, this is a great option for you. I really like this game. I love the aesthetic. I love the old school Renaissance values, for lack of a better term. And I think that I am going to have a great time with this with my players. And I look forward to sharing my thoughts on the Warden's Operation Manual with you. And again, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for liking and subscribing if you have. And if you haven't, why don't you do those things before the space alien comes and gets you? Thank you for watching. This has been This Old Grognard, wishing you a productive day.